Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another exciting, riveting, and amazing Propagandacast with me, your host and Pearl Dane, the one and only master propaganda heroes like defender of the fatherland of it, 2v2 on, you guessed it. It is Torrente. And we got here Stana right away dropping an airborne 30 caliber machine gun. Oh, the wonder and joy of CoH3. We got Ken Kratz, got Double Groniers, both Valorant players have actually in a rare twist gone for both of the Wehrmacht. Definitely not something too often versus Brits and Americans, 101st Airborne playing as the Brits. And Stana playing as the Americans with Airborne. Totally makes sense. As always, a big hearty thanks to my Patreon supporters for the continued generous and heroic support of the Propagandacast. Keeps helping make all these wonderful videos possible. And I thank those who keep commenting and liking on them. Helps out immensely as well with the YouTube algorithms, you know, spreading out the video further and further. So, we got Terror, we got Coastal versus an unspecified British battle group, and Airborne. So, we are off to the races here as the German 16th Panzerdivision battles into the ruins against the Allied Task Force here with the 82nd Airborne and the British 1st Armoured Division holding out here. Not the 101st Airborne did not actually fight in the Mediterranean theatre at all, they only fought from Normandy and onwards there. Quick side note. Got very early mortar here for Evelynn, probably because he saw that airdrop in the middle of the map, and at which point you don't have to be Sherlock Holmes to figure out what's going on. Because there's really high likelihood that they really just dropped 30 cal. In fact, we got another 30 cal for Stana, dropping down there from above. The 30 cal basically at the moment operates like the pre-nerf Maximum CoH3, and if the Soviets could airdrop those with an entire squad attached to them, they would. So plenty of the scouts here, east side we got the 30 cal loading up here, nicely dug in within the church, enjoying some nice auto wine. Grenadiers there for Blue, noting while he has gone for coastal, he's yet actually done anything with the battle group itself, like not going for the infantry. Got mortars, machine guns there for Evelynn. Got the ambush camouflage machine gun, which is picked like even if some players aren't intent to like really utilize the ambush machine guns, they still pick it because it costs 0 CP, meaning they can just so use it slightly faster towards the King Tiger. So, especially considering the other abilities like a time, ability that requires from vehicles and machine guns attached to them, which means mentally a lot more work for them compared to like just a passive works from the machine guns if they do have to go for them. Also doesn't cost like any additional missions, whereas the other one does. So, 30 cal holding up here, west side flanking up here, catching Blue in the center, in a bit of an awkward spot here. Simply further west here, Pioneers laying down tank traps, trying to block off the roads here with some Dragon's Teeth. They are known, at least one of the names, typically these kind of defenses tend to have a lot of names. 30 cal there falls back, section overcome here by the might of Deutschland as Evelynn falls in the way here. Bernard there for putting in the pressure there. Another section away there for Stana. Stana for 101st Airborne. My brain for some reason want him to be, of course, the one with the Airborne battle group. Talk about false advertisement there. MG42 number 2 for Evelynn, so double machine guns for the Germans, double machine guns for the Americans, leaving just the Brits not go for machine gun at all. Half-tracks there on the way for Stana. Some pioneers coming aggressively, maybe for looking to threaten some northern points here, drawing away attention from the front line. Tactically, a bit risky, but at the same time not bad if you make it work. Meanwhile, both Wehrmacht players going for the Luftwaffe Company. Only the most popular of the two Tier 2 buildings that are the Wehrmacht. Little station for Stana. Some of that good old American healing. Half-track almost done. Got the sappers really deepening their territory, laying down mines. This is really cheeky and also psychologically can be devastating for some players. This tends to be, so say, sort of a like mental safe space. So, like, you know, like say you suddenly stepped on a landmine within your room, you'd be pretty traumatized because not only did you step on the landmine, you stepped on it where you thought you were safe. This can, for some players, have a bit of an outsized, like, you know, effect on them, as suddenly, like, boom, you know, hey, this is supposed to be like, you know, our space, there's mines in it, there's not supposed to be mines. That can create a bit of a psychological effect in some cases as well. So, very sneaky yet effective play there by 101st Airborne. Thumbs up. 30 cals, not 30 cals, in fact 30s, and Jaegers on the way for the Germans. Got Airborne troops being dropped in for Stana, mortars on the way for 101st Airborne, plans being down with M3 and its 50 cal, which is nothing up region M16. And note, they actually had these stops in them, so for example, you couldn't like shoot the 50 cals into like the cabin and like, you know, shoot up your own half track. They did have that. And there you go. Sneaky harassment here by 101st Airborne, draws away 2 units from the front line, doing like a third one just to deal with this. So that's kind of effective there from 101st Airborne, highlighting just how effective harassment that can be. But again, there are some risks associated with it depending on the retreat path. In this case, though, the retreat path is clearly very safe. But it's also worth keeping in mind that second half tech for Stana. Another M3 on the way here. Of the force away, they clearly overcome by German firepower, but here, 101st Airborne overcome Evelynn's forces, routing the Germans. 2 Jaegers for the Germans, 1 for Evelynn, 1 for Blue. Also got the officer, but there's definitely been an overall decrease that people like to go for the officer. The Blue skipper will be the one to backset Trent. Maybe he'll just keep at it. 30 cal getting mauled by the flak 30. Going to be the bigger 30. Got the M16 laying down some heavy fire there with its 450 caliber machine guns. Then we got interrogation there for Evelynn. Mortar inching forward, C platoon command post on the way. Heavy tier 1 there at the Brit. Noting, of course, still no battle group is selected. And out of the 3 there, I mean,
victory point is under enemy
the Canadian shot could be an Air&Sea, could even be Indian artillery, but words like sort of go for my gut instinct. Well, just about to talk about my gut instinct, he goes for Air&Sea, which I mean is a solid one, make no mistake. But I was about to say Canadian shot just to prove, you know, I'm not like, you know, just going to say, oh, well, obviously I knew he was going to go Air&Sea. No, I was going to say Canadian shot. I felt like the most likely one due to the incendiary abilities, plus the crocodile or the assault saps that sort of late game. Air&Sea still offers a lot of value. So, not like a bad pick there out of 101st. But even Indian Till obviously would have been a solid, I think, depending on how it was used. But it wouldn't have been like my initial pick, depending on like most players. Anyways, resource cache there. And of course, this is like one of those benefits of the battle group, since you can use like, you know, automatically set up caches there because of that one abilities. It's definitely a key factor there in 101st Airborne's position there. Like first of all, there for Evelynn. A lot of automatic firepower, the machine guns, autocannons. And the flak 30's definitely been one of those things that's really been sort of appearing more and more in the meta game, to the point that even some players actually like just skip MD42s and go entirely for flak 30's, because why go for MD42 and get something that, you know, can harm light vehicles, infantry more consistently, you know, looks cool too. In Saving Private Ryan after all, which again I think is where most people remember this from, is that one scene in Saving Private Ryan. Really good scene too, to the point where again, like, you actually have people in CoH3 trying to recreate it using the flak feeling of those research things. So, fun bits there. Up north here, German forces finding out with the Allied forces in its ruins. Crowds were flanking up behind. He could threaten with a satchel charge even. Meanwhile, got Stana racing through the western side of the flak 30, though problem got American and Greece getting hammered, got suppressive fire air guns. You can see there doing immense amounts of damage to them systems. Again, it's kind of like why a lot of people might go for the flak 30. It's excellent as light infantry and infantry. Twin, of course, this is kind of slow, and it lacks a gun shield, so like it can very quickly be cleared out if you're not careful. But if you handle it correctly, it can be devastating. Jaegers there forced back. Until finally they're raining down the Netherlands position south of the church.
All victory points are under enemy
and we got Emily's flak 30 joining in with Horus for some winning deals for some heavy casualties. More stalling out here to be the British mortar on the losing end. Victory points wise, allies also get the lead there. Third Jaeger squad for Blue. And officers' quarters. It's an excellent choice there. Support everything for Evelynn. Now, of course, be the flak Panzer IV Bibervent, maybe some Martyrs.
Will be a medical facility momentarily.
Trouble, and there you go. Anti-tank half to almost knocked out here by the flak 30. But during the war replaced by the flak 38, which features a lightning before the yeah, it's a bigger version. Brute version this with a gun shield, which can also be moved like this, by the way. But did not get features in Saving Ryan. Around in there.
We have
And of
finished
course
the
you later had the
research.
flak feeling, which by the way could also be moved around.
Commandant, you have command points available.
Anyways, Panzergrenadier Company there for blue, thumbs up.
We shall defend this coastal wall to the death.
Coastal wall. 404 is 482. Down this bridge, up here with double Brownings. Supply drops for Stana. UFO2 sneaking forward here, of course, need to be careful that's not like any flamethrower teams around here that could quickly cost the machine gun. We got Allied forces keeping Germans from reaching that center field point, keeping it safe for freedom on the hand. Scotland. Propaganda drop there for Evelynn. Not seemingly making a beeline for the King Tiger.
Advanced weaponry will soon be available.
Surprise shows there, most players did him for that. The Stana's got the tank depot on the way. West side, we got blue, they're pushing forward. But a counterattack here by Stana is very much threatening to throw it all aside here. But Evelynn's got the Flak Panther for Evelynn on the way. Blue, of course, also going for support element C. But with the Panzergrenadier Company, could also be theoretically, most theoretically planning a stupid likely need for effort.
Our
I still go
arsenal
through
has
the
been
ones and
expanded, Commandant.
Yes. Cody still had to work. There was the M16 tank depot, 2/3 laid down there for Stana, more or less. Throwing the M16 here to do some damage behind enemy lines, but it's taking so much damage at this point. A single encounter with like even a Pioneer squad could very much light this on fire. Also, Big Hunt's first airborne actually taked up and missed that, and is going for them to the 2 infantry tank. Thumbs up. West side section something up. Marder 3 for Evelynn. Twice there, and there we go. M16 spotted by the Flak Panzer, and that was about as one-sided engagement can get. But he could soon go for a Stug. Now, I need further. Jägers are launching through the narrow streets here of West Torrente. Got Bazooka team, there you go. Propaganda flares here, causing mess down the 101st Airborne side of the map. Mortar crew disengaged from life. Being behind the mortar there for the Germans to seize, and got the need left on the way for blue. Not too much of a surprise. Certainly with the way the engagement so far is going, and need left is a nice handy pick. Section taken out as well here. Painful blow there to the Brits. For now, blue of the Matilda, 2 infantry rowing forwards here. Striking and exposed German weak points here. While the Vivian is certainly great as infantry aircraft, it falls significantly flat against the British Matilda 2 infantry tank. Not exactly been assigned to fight against them. Bronze aircraft was shot down by the might of the Flak Panther Fear. Mortar and Torp got the Marder they're supporting. He's assisted by the Ken Crap for spotting. Good combination there by Evelynn. Thumbs up. West side, Jägers machines inching forwards. Further west, Pioneers. Busy there fortifying the west side. Tank traps clearly trying to hide them in such a way the opponent can just shoot from distance. It's like break down this, then find the tank traps first to the machine fire. Stana, by the way, noticed is floating an insane amount of manpower. 1,000 manpower is definitely not something I recommend, especially if you just build some fuel caches, this both your teammates to get out armor faster. I would say that's a bit of an oversight there for Stana.
Converting bunker. Hold the line.
lost a captain. He could also call in more infantry. He could do like a lot of things with 1,000, in fact 1,100 manpower at this stage of the game. So I don't think there's much of a solid argument for floating that much manpower. In fact, he's now trending towards 1,200 manpower. Hellcat's only for Stana. Now finally something happening with that manpower.
Upgrade complete.
Then we got Blue as well with a Marder 3 Model M. There's the Sappers. Machine guns here about to do the Sappers hardcore as well. Hellcat halfway down. He's in trouble. Anti-tank team nasty from the Marder.
Come on up.
Flank 30 here very much. Ripping through the anti-tank half to the crew, then absolutely nasty experience. And uses the scouts. Marder 3 number 2 for Evelynn. Another Nebelwerfer for Blue. More Nebelwerfers, meine Herren. Ducks going at it. Ducks going up, and we got the propaganda leaf drops well here. Only 6-pounder gun. And Marder down here. Alan and Salty is ripping apart Evelyn's right flank here, causing great chaos and consternation. As the entire vehicle columns are left destroyed. Even infantry quite vitally exposed to Matilda 2 here. There you go, Flak Panzer down. I repeat, Flak Panzer down. Flak 30 here, they're bundling up the Matilda 2's crew, giving it quite a nasty case there. And the English push up into the foot guard, clearing it out in return. But Stana is not returned, also he's got a rocket strike lined up. Going for the Marder 3, catching a bit of traffic. Can he take it out with the USF? No! And the aircraft actually gets shot down by the Flak 30. And the Marder still go down, but another Marder takes out the Hellcat. With more Marders on the way for Evelynn. It's Marder, Marder, Marder. Madness. There you go, Marder's almost got the Matilda 2 as well here. Need to get that Matilda 2 to safety. Got the section wing in, then cut the French anti-tank grenades. He's blocked anti-tank grenades. Oh, doesn't matter. The Matilda 2 is cooked. Then we got the new one button there from the first air, but he's moved towards the Grant. Thumbs up. Up northwest, all this happened. Blue has made steady progress in forcing back Stana's forces there. It's only punishing him for floating 1,000 manpower. Still, not what we call a particularly fantastic idea 20 minutes into the game or so.
Territory lost.
Got the Panzer obstacles here for Blue.
Artillery
Sherman for
observers are
Stana.
standing by to protect our front line.
Stana's like taking some heavy losses, and he's not really, I feel like, doing. Some might describe there's an awful lot to fix there.
Headquarters has an
Not when he's
officer
like
station.
floating 800 manpower. So that's something he needs to work a bit on, in my humble opinion. I'm, of course, a very model of humility. So, Stana there. I'm sure we got crushed. They got first Airborne. So not something a bit against the German army. Inside here, foot guards racing crew. Got 2 Jaeger squads with scope for the fleet. Not a single anti-shrek in sight there. Magnum to the belief of some of our viewers out there in the great wide world. First side here, further fighting in the western streets here. Torrente. Got the infantry grunt ready. Hunfarm Sherman's all arrived here for Stana, and he has lost his anti-tank half-track. We got a rocket one as well, and it's not achieved too much except become target practice for the Flak 30. There you go. Large naval strike here. Can't exactly tell if it did anything. Maybe knocked out a bunker. Got a new one on there for Blue. There you go. M3 Grant rolling ahead here. The predecessor to the Sherman. Could only in fact see brave service in the war before it did quickly replaced by the Sherman. The Grant specifically was the British version of it. Of course, the American one was the M3E. The only difference in this two was actually the turret itself. The British preferred a slightly larger turret with a radio in it. That sort of funny polar machine gun. The Americans on the hand did have a smaller turret and the radio operators and then small separately operated. The British version, I think, had 6 men for the American version.
Now under enemy control.
Wow. That's strikes against the Allied force here. Gets a good shot on the Grant here. And we got Propaganda as well, who can drop right underneath the Western positions. Causing quite a bit of chaos in there. Go both anti-tank and assist. And apparently, in fact, 30 panic so much they just pick them up and run for it. Certainly shows great panic when they just forget to, like, abandon them. Those Scooby-Doo levels are just panicking. West side, Jaeger's holding up. We got the Marder. He was the 100 Sherman. Direct hit, certainly causing quite a bit of harm there to the Marder 3. Scouts. Paratroopers. Marlish Jaeger's getting crash swinging eastwards. We got a bunker on the way there for Evelynn. Stana. Not floating quite nearly as aggressive much map at this point.
An officer awaits deployment.
Which is an improvement. We also got an officer on acting now here for Blue. Late to the party, but certainly never. Bunker done for Evelynn.
Territory sector lost.
Jaeger's machines holding up here on the west side. And another volley of Neva rockets right into the positions. 101st Airborne. I feel like Allied tactics at the moment are a bit too figured out with the Germans. Like, I think they need to change up what they're doing at the moment. They need to like try and throw the Germans off their balance. Because right now it just seems like they're playing right into the Germans' hands. Almost evenly, which is not exactly going to help.
A squad of Jaeger has been requisitioned.
Got a Camcrat, not a huge one, certainly something. Where it comes out of Stana.
Concrete fortification shall be refurbished and
More bunkers for
maintained.
Blue.
Meet your standards, Commandant.
Also looking at the Allies, medic bunker standing, well, stationed on the Camcrat for Evelynn. West side down there trying to push through as well. We got another Grant here, 101st Airborne. Grant here driving up the centre, more or less on its own, bit risky there. And more needle fire here completely engulfing 101st Airborne's war weapons in the vast sea of fire. Grant for 101st Airborne.
Understood. MG-42 upgrade on the way.
Machine gun bunkers for Blue to help defend some of the more vital points more effectively.
Strike fear into their infantry. Defensive positions. There to there.
Sector lost.
Good guards going up. East machine gun team there.
Strike fear into their infantry.
Insane Monster 63. Got a bit from the east, but it's running straight to like 3 Jaeger squads with scope D for the fees. It's not going too low there for alone for that section. And a rocket strike gun here. Stana trying to work together here with 101st Airborne almost. We got fully there. Meanwhile, more coordinated push it looks like from 101st Airborne Stana in the west. Almost using this as diversionary attack. keep Evelynn's attention over there while they're then really getting up in blue, which is, I mean, tactically not a bad idea. Everything can coordinate well enough. And unfortunately for now, the coordination is a bit off, and obviously it ends up mattering enough, but may not really be big enough for this day. But that might get wiped out though. Scope Jaegers and the flak further completely ripping through those shafts, dropping up as well here. We got blue there committing to more martyrs. Yeah, not enough of diversion it seems. And again, more up in the western shores. 11 coming to assist here against the combined push to the west. And we see here, 101 German goes up in flames. Great for the Germans. That's ideal for the Allies to see that this mutiny is a massive fire. And 101st Airborne has been really taking some massive losses. Against large the ground, so we get almost knocked out here. Kaput. One martyr, there's still the ace left. Got the other martyr. Bunker's about to get knocked out by the British naval artillery. Not bad though, I suppose, in the end trading of 2 martyr fleets for Grant, but not ideal either. See, when you consider the 101st Airborne barely has any other units, at that stage, like, loss is much more impactful, as technically a much more significant portion of force that just goes up in flames. More sappers from the 1st Airborne, definitely execution there to push things. East side German forces, or American forces actually moving in as well here.
The enemy has claimed our territory for their own.
25. There you go, Niebuhr is once more barraging away there. Another incendiary storm unleashed on Allied positions as once more the 1st Airborne slowly advances, though again continues to suffer from a defending Finnish force here. Stana continues to just float manpower when he really should have spent some of that. Again, put the fuel cache is good. More infantry, but I do think we can start expending just a bit more, but a bit less. Union 71 versus 121. You start entering in the ready here. And what is this? Completely forgot to paint it. They actually had a king target here for Evelynn, the Königstiger, compared to the final 4th Schwerer Panzerabteilung, the high velocity 18 gun, similarly used on the Jagdpanther, the protection, of course, the Nassau. Think about guns from the 101st Airborne, though, I would not be surprised to end up maybe deciding to need something that would be bigger to tackle the Königstiger.
Converting bunker.
Another big bunker for blue. Mars lost a bit of trouble, but overall Allied situation remains not ideal, and I still think needs to be like a changing approach here.
Report, the Allies have only
71
points.
plus 198. All blasting from the ground south to the east and east.
Upgrade complete.
Fresh bunkers for blue. We need more for fire here. Oh, and he's almost got one of the train, wasn't it? Machine gun left behind, 30 cal, and they're going to be wiped out. And the losses continue to be rather nasty. Mostly pace reactors. Still not looking good here. Rocket running on the Königssee. The problem is the building here might actually absorb most of the damage.
A machine gun has been
But I
destroyed.
go, there we go, machine gun down at least. I mean, I guess that's a small band-aid, you know, a bit of consolation prize. They might not like done any damage to the King Tiger, but at least an MG42 crew did go down. Another grunt. 101st Airborne. More bunkers for blue.
lost the sector.
Hellcat for Stana. Could also consider airdropping in into tank and to help deal with some of these demon armor. Or we could again go for like infantry. There you go, fresh ground out there for 101st Airborne. Only see the release would see it.
We may designate a defensive line at your command.
One just worms so many things. Big bunker fan.
The enemy has taken a victory point.
So I managed to score a re-hit on the King Tiger from the front. First Airborne bringing the artillery, bringing the mighty bishops. Stana, at least at this point, has finally stopped throwing so much manpower.
Will be a medical facility.
That is an improvement. That is a step up. You know, just got more martyrs. Oh! German hit a mine. But they're quite dissatisfied about the entire situation as German tank destroyers are quickly moving in there. So we start building bishops here. Sharing their caught in the rear by the martyrs. And down. Good hit there by Axis Force. Please be careful though. It's right in front of them. That's what they're deal with it. They get it tough here. Still lining the speed he can outmaneuver the martyrs somewhat. It's all worth noting. Still somewhat space becomes harder for like just east of the circle on both of them. Anything happen a bit later in the march. You can get a rock straight from here. Which most just seems to once more just draw in axes and aircraft fire. Not doing too much, but still got both of Blue's martyr fleets. That is nonetheless something. And we got another push towards him on the 1st Airborne. He's gone for rocket loiter, though. Probably wants to deal with some of these German flank guns. They did an excellent job keeping the pressure RAF and the US Air Force, well, let's just say grounded. There you go, shot down as well there.
Sector now under enemy control.
Done. He needs some his. Another half track, in fact, another set of half tracks for Stana.
Marder tank destroyer is ready for combat.
More Marders for the Germans, more Marder 3 Ausführung M. 871 to 121. And kept good. Especially the balling here out of the knee peppers from Blue again, causing quite a bit of grief to 101st Airborne. And a bishop on 101st Airborne, finally bringing in some artillery to try and silence the German staff. Making their first targets could very well be those efforts, been causing him quite a bit. And we got Evelynn with another unfortunate Cat driver. Dead bacon sent into this absolute furnace of war. And he's doing the best against some super teams. Isn't too difficult. We got the Marder, Hellcat running against the Marders one score. Marders I asked for the M crew definitely not having the best of times. There's the film souls faced off against Hellcat.
The enemy is down to 100
Blasting into bits here. More half to the round for Stana. And they're being upgraded to anti-tank half tracks. V1 rockets called in. Supposed to hit, but
artillery overwatch is available.
I'm sure it's gone by now. Even got another Hellcat that's swinging about here. Hellcat's swinging about to get the two half from the other side, just regular half tracks. Starting really looking to cause chaos in the German line. Tactic saying that is actually quite simple. King Tiger scores a good shot, not enough to finish it off here. And that's the same use one of these in half-text. Again, as it gets ripped apart there like it's made out of paper. That King Tiger. Further south, entering half the moon again. Delivering no death from above, you've got Vincent 1 versus 80. And we've got more rockets here. One squad seems to have done limited work
The enemy has 75 points and falling.
Well, it feels like the Allies are starting to, get a bit more in there. One wonders whether soon enough.
Destroyers ready for
And
combat.
the Germans, of course, just going for even more martyrs. Stana or Interesting enough, the East seems to have been largely forgotten here, but the Allies are just stopping down in the West side. Probably think they've just held these two points up so they can form more cohesive defense against the Germans. That's going to have to. They technically have to hold a much broader frontier. Can't quite as easily concentrate compared to here. I do see the logic, but of course, we have the German team line as well there. Another B1 rocket already out here from Evelynn. He's apparently messed up these munitions.
Now it's the time for action. The enemy has only 50 points left.
Okay, that definitely made a bit of impact. Which I think this was. Getting the Allied lines into quite the mess. Where was, I Company? I think it's that bloody mess over there. Oh. Need more bishops at 101st Airborne. They have yet to significantly, I think, be marked to harm the Axis worth it, I think.
The enemy has fallen. We fight another
And there
day.
you go, that V1 rocket, the Allied spirit was broken by the armored fist of this Fastland. Bit brutal there, that said. I do think Stana, they're floating so much manpower for that period, they really wasn't helping, and tactically again, while there were some good moments, I think they've only cut a lot of less good moments, allowing the Germans sort of slowly get ahead and just apply the pressure. So there you go, hope you enjoyed this match, you'll learn something from it, and this is Imperial News. Cheers, and see you all tomorrow for another exciting episode. Bye everyone.